guest in the building, the author of Life Rehab, Don't Overdose on Pain, People Empower. Kanika Tolver's in the building. Clap it up for
her. All right, there we go.
Clap it up for herself. I like it. Beautiful. Our topic of the day is living a purpose-driven life by any means necessary. And this was inspired. Me and Kanika, we were talking a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the book and just our journey. We known her for a minute. This is Amadi Mag. Gave us one of our first interviews ever. She's been a close friend of the show for a while, man. She's been on the show a couple of times, and we're friends, and we talk sometimes, and we were just talking about our journeys, and how far we've come over the past 5 years. It's been a minute, and how Paul and I, we came up from the doing shows on our phone and having that little tiny studio we used to be in, and how she came up from just starting, having an idea about a brand to being a true brand builder, and also being an innovator in her industry as well, man. Just accomplishing things by any means, because it is difficult to do in these positions, man. And I'm always proud of people that go out there and do things. When homie hit me up a while back and said, Adam, I got something coming up. I said, okay, well, are you going to tell me? Oh, no, you'll find out when it happens. Her voice wasn't that deep when she said it, but she said it. And she said, you'll find out when it happens. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Where we going? What am I about to find out now? You about to invent a plane or something. You never know with this girl. And she came out with the book. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? So Life Rehab, tell us about that, man. What is Life Rehab?
Life Rehab is more like a state of mind. It's all about checking yourself in to rehabilitate things that may have happened to you. Personal pain, personal struggles, relationships, overdosing on material things. The title is just strictly driven about the things that I was addicted to. I think we all have our own personal addictions, but pain, people, and power were my addictions, so I checked in.
And how did you get to that point where you recognized that you needed to check into a life rehab because you were addicted to pain, people, and power? How did you bring yourself to that point?
It was probably about when I was like 27. I felt like I didn't really know who I was. Like I was accomplishing all these great things. I had a magazine, great job, great home, husband, money, but I just felt like I didn't really know who I was as a person. And I was going through like a, spiritual awakening, mental breakdown, as I would call it. And I just was like, wow, like I haven't really looked at the things that I've been through. Like I've tried to like cover it up, and people have hurt me, and I've kind of like been addicted to these, friendships and relationships and partnerships that weren't healthy. And then power was just strictly about, we in the DMV, we just be ego tripping about money, cause I'm a GS this in the government, I make this X amount of money, and I felt like those things invalidate really who I was.
Definitely.
As they should. I mean, I've noticed a few things as I was reading through the book. Not only do you give advice, but you also have a section in here where people can actually jot things down in the journal. Why did you feel that was important?
I mean, the book is really a personal story, but it's also a self-help book. So I felt like I wanted people to go along with the journey with me and also document their own life rehab journey. I mean, the book is about my story, but it's really about reaching other people to help them understand that they may have the same issues.
Right.
It's one part in the book that we were talking about recently, and actually I had a good conversation with a friend of mine about toxic people creating toxic situations, dealing with toxic people, and one thing I think we learned, Pete, when we would be in this industry and we would try to, and I don't think this just goes for people that's in the industry. I'm pretty sure you didn't write this just for people that are trying to be in the entertainment industry. But one thing we noticed is that we would be kind of begging for help at some point. You know what I mean? Because we were around people that really didn't have our best interests at heart. They really just wanted to use us for everything they could. They just wanted to be around, or we'd be on your show, or this, that, and another, and didn't reciprocate that. What kind of advice would you give on that note when it comes to people dealing with toxic people and how they can get out of a situation like that and recognize that they're dealing with toxic people?
I mean, when you feel like you're losing your true authentic self, the relationship really probably is toxic. I mean, when you feel like you can't, they're not helping you grow, they're not helping you be a better person, and you feel like it's a one-sided relationship and you're giving and you're not getting anything back, that's one way to identify you're in a toxic relationship. But I really think that people really have to really get to know who they are. And once they get to really love themselves, they'll know if they're being loved in an inappropriate way.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk. I mean, you know, this is a big thing, man, and I hate to talk about, you know, like, because we Facebook sometimes or what have you, but I'm really excited because, you know, it takes a lot to do something like this and write a book and put your soul out there in you know, in writing. But how are people responding to this right now? Because I see you on the Twitter and Instagram and everything. I see people hold up the Life Rehab book. I mean, how are people responding to this work of yours?
I think people responding like, wow, I really didn't know that Kanika was going through those things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they feel like, wow, I feel like I got the same pain. Like, I really can really appreciate her honesty and truthfulness. There's a lot of things in the book in there about my husband, you know, having brain surgery. There's a lot of things in the book about my own personal struggles with my weight, with not loving myself. And I think that people are scared to really be transparent about their lack of self-love and their lack of self-worth. And I think that that's the type of responses that I'm getting, because people want to say it, but they just don't really have enough strength to be as transparent as me.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot in there. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to give out too much. I think people should buy the book first. So tell them where they should get the book from.
You definitely can get the book from Amazon.com. It is a 5-star rated book.
Beautiful.
You can get it on the Kindle version on Amazon. You can actually get the book at KanikaTolver.com as well. You'll get an autographed copy if you order from KanikaTolver.com. That's via PayPal. And, you know, you can just hit me up on Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
And my Twitter is at Career Dropout.
Yeah. And I think when people look at our you know, us as budding public figures, and they look at you and they, you know, they may follow you on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, or see you on television or whatever you may be, and they see a happy person. They see a person that's, you know, you're showing the best of yourself, but like you said in the book, you went through
really
some
showing
things.
the worst, showing my lowest points. Yeah,
and you went through some things, and you're balancing 2 careers. I mean, you know, you're balancing, you work in the government, and you also are an entrepreneur, and a lot of people choose to not do both at the same time. Some people really just want to you know what, I'm going to just start my business and just go, or I don't have time to start a business, I'm going to keep my 9 to 5. How do you balance both of those things?
It's hard, because where I'm at today, I really do just want to do the business and do my entrepreneurship stuff full time, because it's like you get to a certain level and you're like, I just really can't do this no more. So I think right now my 9 to 5 is feeding a dream. Like, it's really like, I mean, I was able to self-publish because I have a job. You know, I'm able to basically, you know, get a website developed because I have a job. I'm able to, you know, pay a couple of consulting people to do video services or editing, things that I just don't have time to do. That's basically coming from my income. But I do understand the struggle of wanting to go full-fledged into it, because when you have a burning purpose inside of you, you just feel like the 9 to 5 is blocking it. You feel like I'm going to work for 8 hours, and I'm just like, man, really, I could be spending 8 hours doing my thing.
Yeah.
So I understand the you know, the turning point when you got to make that decision.